What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the branded dude, and today guys there's a new replay here. We are going up against Ryzeal, pure Ryzeal, post Supreme Darkness, so there is Eclipse Twins in the deck. So yeah, let's see how we do. 60 card branded against 40 card Ryzeal. In the rock paper scissors, my opponent won and he chose to go first, so we are going second. Opening hands, you'll see we open Rebellion, Haveness, Allure, Branded White, and Branded Banishment. So it's a bit of a shaky hand. We have Allure and Rebellion, Haveness, sure, but yeah, we have a bit of a shaky hand. Opponent opens Cross, Talents. He made X Soul Drain, so this man is so worried about Malice. But Soul Drain does affect us because now our fusion monsters in grave cannot activate their effects, Imperm and Fualos. So yeah, he has no place whatsoever, so he simply passes turn and we draw into High Spirits for turn. That is a good draw. So we go with Rebellion. Here we search Serenia because we have High Spirits. We then go High Spirits, sending Serenia and Titan to search Albion. That way we will have a way to get Branded Fusion. Serenia here will dump Retribution. We follow up with a Shrouded Dragon, sending Branded Fusion. And here we draw into Tragedy. So now we have a good target to banish off Allure. Retribution's effect will add Branded Fusion, and before we activate Branded Fusion, I decided to go Allure. We draw into Quem and Despia, and we banish Tragedy. So unfortunately, we drew into more Despia monsters with Allure when we were hoping that we were drawing to other plays or other cards, and Tragedy would search as a Despia monster. So unfortunately, yeah, we trigger Tragedy to search Aluba, but here I decided not to normal summon Aluba. I normal summoned Quem instead because we have Branded in White in hand. So if Quem can resolve and we can send Albaz to grave, if Branded Fusion gets ashed, we can still perform a fusion summon with Branded in White. So that was the reason why I normal summoned Quem. Quem effect here, my opponent does have Imperm, but luckily he doesn't use it, so it resolves and Albaz is in grave. We then follow up with Branded Fusion and we get hit with the Fualos. So my opponent is going to draw a card. We remember guys, we are going second here, so I was contemplating whether I full send it or we just play a little conservative, because I don't know if this man is going to join to maybe Bestials. I didn't know what he was playing. My best guess was either Ryzeal or Malice, but I was a bit worried about Bestials as well. So we summon Albion by sending Albaz and Gotesia because we already have Bestial, Rebellion, and Grave, and my opponent draws into Prosperity. So man is playing Prosp even in Ryzeal deck, crazy. On rares, we just go Chainlink 1 Quem to target to reborn Gotesia. We don't go Albion effect. We then tribute Albion, summon Rebellion, and Rebellion here will place Branded Regained. I could have placed Branded Lost. That way, if I fusion summon, I could add Mercuria. But I decided, we're going to try go for game. And because we want to use our graveyard to fusion summon with Branded White, I most probably am going to banish one of my fusion monsters to summon Mirrorjade. So I decided, let me use Regain to shuffle one of them back and just draw another card. And remember, we still don't use Gotesia effect, and we still have Haveness in hand. So even if things get a bit more complicated, or well, by complicated I mean harder for us to go for game this turn, we can still set up a board. So we follow up with Branded White, banishing Albaz and Titan to go into Mirrorjade. My opponent gets another draw, and here he does draw into a second copy of Talents. On rares, obviously we go Regain, targeting Titan to shuffle back, and my opponent scoops because he has no way to defend himself. And we have, we had Mirrorjade for 3,000, Rebellion for 2,500, and Gotesia and Quem was another 3,000. Listen, that's well over 8,000 damage. So luckily for us, we won game number 1. Game number 2 now. Ryzeal player is going first. We are going second. Opening hands, we have Super Poly, Droplet, Deployment, High Spirits, and Thrust. So Droplet, Super Poly, decent. Also Fusion Deployment, we can summon Albaz, use Super Poly to break the board. So it all obviously depends on what we draw next. After that, sure, we have Thrust as well, but this is a Ryzeal player, he's going to end up on a crazy board. Opponent opens Imperm, Bonfire, Cross, Fake Veiler, and Soul Drain. 3 hand traps, a starter, and the field spell. So that's a crazy hand. He goes Bonfire. Unfortunately, we don't have Ash, so he searches X. And so now he's going to pop over here, summons X, sending Duo Drive, searching Sword, special summon Sword. Sword here will search Ice Ryzeal. He hasn't normal summon yet. Activates Field Spell, goes into Duo Drive, then uses its effect to search Plugin, and searches Node as well. He then normal summons Ice, effect, summoning X, goes into Dugaris. Here he's going to use the effect to draw 2 and discard 1. So he skips his draw phase. He draws into an effect Veiler. Yeah, and talents. Okay, I was wondering. I thought he only drew 1 there. And he ends up discarding. I think he discards. Okay, discards the talents because we're not activating any monster effects, so that's a valid card to discard. But he has 2 hand traps. Well, 3 hand traps. 2 Veilers, 1 Imperm. He then special summons Node and uses its effect, sending Dugaris to reborn X. Uses the field spell to shuffle back X and Dio Drive. He's going to draw into another copy of talents. That's rough. He goes into Baguska. I thought he was going to go into, what's his name, Detonator, but I guess Baguska's fair because you have Soul Drain, you have Imperm, and 2 Veilers, and you have Plug-in as well. So, crazy. Man has so much interruption, and Baguska itself is annoying interruption to deal with, even though we do have Droplet. Anyways, he passes turn, and we draw into Bestial Rebellion. That's a good draw, because now we can search Serenia, and we have High Spirits to use it, right? But Baguska is a problem. And in draw phase, my opponent does activate Soul Drain. So that was another issue to deal with, because now whatever monster effects we activate in grave or banished, it won't resolve. Actually, not even activate. We cannot activate it. That's what I meant to say. So that's a bit rough. So we first start off with Lubellion, searching Magnamut. I searched Magnamut here instead of Serenia because Soul Drain is just not going to allow us to activate Serenia's effect. So we don't bother with that. We just search Mag. Hopefully we can just, search a dragon in the end phase. We then go Fusion Deployment. Now here I am planning to go Fusion Deployment, summon Albaz, and then we can super poly the board, right? But the issue is Soul Drain is a problem. It really is, and also you need to remember that my opponent did search Plugin, so I was a bit worried that this set card was Plugin, because if Baguska leaves the field, my opponent can simply activate Plugin. If I understand, yeah. You can activate Plugin, target the Baguska Engrave, reborn, and attach a card to it, and basically it's going to be like as if the card didn't leave the field. So that was an issue to deal with. So we go Fusion Deployment, showing Mirror Jade to summon Albaz, which is going to be in defense. But here I decide not to go Super Poly or Droplet. When I activated Fusion Deployment, I could have went Droplet, sending the Fusion Deployment to negate Baguska, but the issue is that well, I guess, listen, even if I go into Mirror Jade, I just Super Poly Dio Drive and Albaz, go into Mirror Jade, banish the Baguska, that could have helped, but Soul Drain is an issue here to deal with, because whatever I send to grave, I'm not getting any follow-up, nothing is happening, so it's a bit rough. So I decided to take a risk, and let's just go the long way. So we just summon Albaz, we set Super Poly Droplet, and we pass. Because listen, we have Super Poly. Super Poly is a good board breaker. We will be able to break the board. My opponent won't be able to go for game immediately this turn. So yeah, like I discussed in the previous play, we just Super Poly Duo Drive Albaz, use Mirror Jade to banish Baguska, so it's not there anymore. We could have done that, but my opponent is going to have a lot of follow up, compared to us. So it's a bit rough. So I decided to go this route instead. So anyways, he doesn't draw for turn because of Dugaris. And now he flips, switches his Xyz monsters to attack. So now Baguska is not negating any of our defense monsters. He then Xyz summons into Eclipse Twin. First time now you guys get to see the card. When I say see the card, there's never been other Ryzeal plays where this card has come up. So he first goes with the field spell, shuffling back a Node and I think Sword, and he draws into Bow. Crazy. Man has so many hand traps in his hand. So now he goes Eclipse effect to basically be able to attack twice in the battle phase. Whole point here is that he just wanted Duo Drive to go to grave, which now he activates Duo Drive, reborning. He activates Plugin to reborn Duo Drive, and he attaches Ice to it. He then goes Duo Drive to attach another material. So now he uses its effect to search. He searches X, and he also searches Node. Yeah. He then special summons X, sending Aggregator. X searches Sword. He special summons Sword, searching Ice. Man has so much searching in this deck. He then goes into Duo Drive, and he attaches Aggregator to it. He then normal summons Ice. Ice summons X from the deck. In battle phase though, he declares attack with X, and here we use Super Poly, using his Detonator and Albaz and my Albaz to go into Mirror Jade. None of his monsters are able to go over Mirror Jade, so that is fine. So he just goes to main phase 2. He then overlays into another Detonator. I decide not to use Mirror Jade's effect this turn. I decide to wait for my turn. We draw for turn. drawing to kit. So my plan here was we need to find a way to make thrust live. So in main phase, we go Mirrorjade, sending Rinbrim. I don't send Albaz or, I don't send Titan or Albion, mainly because if Mirrorjade doesn't resolve, those fusions won't be able to trigger its effect. So I decided, okay, let's just send Rinbrim. Let's put that there, whatever the case is. Now, my opponent changed Detonator to it, and we have no response. We decide, that's cool, you can pop Mirrorjade, it's okay. But he then goes Chainlink 3 Effect Veiler targeting Mirrorjade, so I decide to go Droplet, sending my Mirrorjade to negate his Detonator. Cool, so Detonator is now at 1500 attack, and we banish Eclipse Twin. Sure, I could have banished Detonator, that's why Ryzeal Cross would not be an issue, but Eclipse Twin, if this card goes to grave, he's just going to reborn the Detonator. So I decided, let's get rid of Eclipse Twin immediately. We then go Magnum Hut, targeting the Detonator in his graveyard. Here my opponent decides to use Cross, which is fine, but now we activate Thrust, which is fine. Now here's the thing, I could have searched Branded Fusion with Thrust. I could have done it, but there was a risk of whether he has Ash. Also, Soul Drain is an issue, so I prioritized just destroying the back row, because Kit herself can't search us Branded Fusion. So that's why I decided to search what's its name, Harpy's Feather Duster, because we need to get rid of the back row. That Soul Drain is messing up our play. So we go Harpies, which resolves. We get rid of Soul Drain, Imperm, and a Field Spell. We then special summon Kit from our hand, activates effects, but my opponent has an Effect Veiler, unfortunately, and we just go, that's unfortunate. So we enter battle phase, destroying the Detonator for, I think, 200 damage, 200 damage. Main phase, go to end phase, we get High Spirits effect, and we pass turn, So luckily for us, an interruption we have is Rinbrim, which can special summon Albaz from a grave, but my opponent does have Bell in his hand, unfortunately. So I decide to hold on to Rinbrim in case he spams the board with monsters, so that way we can sort of break his board, so don't give him too many bodies. Goes Bonfire, searching X, and then he special summons X, sending Eclipse Twin. So this is where things got a bit complicated for us. So now Chainlink 1 X, Chainlink 2 Eclipse, targeting both these Detonators, okay? So I decide to go, okay, we will go Rinbrim effect targeting Albaz. My opponent has the Bell, but he doesn't Bell this, so he lets it resolve. So then I was forced to go Mag, targeting one of his Detonators, and here he changed the Bell on it, so that is a bit rough for us, unfortunately, So I got punished here for holding on to Rinbrim here. I should have done this in draw phase, should have just used the Geo Drive, I would have been in a better position. So, we got punished here. Honestly, we deserve it for being that dumb, I guess, I don't know. But Detonator resolves. He has 2 materials. We don't activate Albaz because it's just going to end up getting popped anyway, so I decide to leave them on the field just for extra bodies to protect us from not being dealt too much damage. He then goes Talents to take, so that is a bit rough. He then normal summons Ice, and he enters battle phase, and that is game. He has enough no, not enough. So he attacks for 500, 1-4, 3000, and 2-5, which leaves us at 500 life points. 500 life points, and here I thought I was a bit safe, but he then overlays into Gaga Cowboy, which basically can deal 800 damage. So that is game. We have no way to stop this, and opponent takes game number 2. So in that game number 2, guys, that round draw phase, I should have used Rinbrim pretty early, either force out that Bell, or we can just go into Mirrorjade, and we would have been in a better position. So I got punished there. Now game number 3, opening hands, we open Cartesia in red, Thrust, Allure, and Brown and White. So this is a rough hand. We have no plays, we have nothing for Cartesia to fusion with. We don't have a Dark for Allure, so we are in a rough position. Opponent opens Cross. Man has opened Cross all 3 games. That is crazy. He opens Veiler, Sword, Ash, and Fualos. So yes, Ryzeal player, he drew a broken hand. So unfortunately for us, we have no play, so we set Thrust, we set Red, we set Brandon White, and I normal summon Cartesia because I'm trying to get lucky with Allure. We acted Allure, and here I was hoping my opponent would not use Ash, and luckily he didn't. So we draw Bestial Rebellion, and we draw Druiswim. So luckily for us, we have a Dark, banish Druiswim. We then go Rebellion, hoping that my opponent does an Ash, which he doesn't, so we're lucky. We add Serenia. We then go Cartesia effect. My opponent then drops Fualos on it, so he is going to get a draw. He draws into Imperm, so Chainlink 1, Grand Gugno, Chainlink 2, Serenia. My opponent does go Chainlink 3, effect Veiler targeting Grand Gugno. So that is unfortunate. So Serenia here, we just dump Brander Retribution because we don't have anything good to send. Unfortunately, we can't send Albaz. I'm not playing Bestial or Luba either, so we can't send that to have a live target for Branded in red, which is unfortunate for us. So here I was contemplating maybe it's time to play that, but you know, that's just crazy talk. So now on res we just go Thrust and my opponent Ashes, which is devastating. If this resolved, I was gonna set D barrier and you know we would have been Gucci because this man's playing Ryzeal. It's just purely Xyz deck only. Extra deck is full of Xyz, so this was devastating, absolutely devastating. So unfortunately that's all we got, so we had to pass. My opponent draws into the new Melchami Mules, yeah, it's Mules, but he has a Ryzeal name, so that is all you need. Normal summon Sword, searching X, and then he's going to special summon X, sending Geodrive. X will search him Node. He's then going to activate Cross first, then overlay into Geodrive. Geodrive is going to get a search for plugin as well as Ice. Remember, okay, he did normal summon, so now he enters battle phase, which is totally fine. He then special summons Node, uses effect to summon Sword, which we then try to use Grand Gugno, but he negates Grand Gugno with Cross, and now he's using Cross effect to draw. Recycle and draw. He draws into Ice. He then overlays into Daguerreus. Man is getting too comfortable with too many effects to activate because we have no interruptions. He draws into, I think he drew into Ash and Balde. So yeah, that is ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Now he goes into Eclipse Twin. He then special summons Ice by sending Eclipse. Eclipse effect will summon Geodrive attaching to Daguerreus. He then goes plug-in to Reborn Sword, and then he overlays into Detonator. Detonator here will attach the Eclipse Twin, and he sets Impermanent Pass. End phase, we go Cartesia to add to hand. He goes Detonator, popping Brandon White. So yeah, unfortunate. We add Cartesia to hand, and we draw for turn. We draw Imperm. Dead. No plays whatsoever. So all I do is set and pass. He doesn't draw for turn because of Daguerreus, but he goes to Field Spell effect to shuffle back plug-in, and I think it was whatever the Ryzeal card was, drawing into X. Absolutely insane. This man is drawing into what he needs. Yo, he then special summons X, sending Aggregator. X here will get a search, searching Sword. He's going to special summon Sword, getting another search. Yeah, he's going to add Ice to hand. So yeah, guys, we're in a rough position here. So this man is totally going there. He overlays into Eclipse. He almost summons Ice, summon Node, overlays into Geodrive. Geodrive gets search for plugin as well as X. Jeez, man, he's searching so much here. He then goes Node effect to overlays into Abyss Dweller, and listen, this is enough damage on board. He can just use the effect to attack for twice. I kind of forgot if he used it, but this Geodrive boosts these monsters by 100, so he has 3-1, he has 1-8, and he can attack for 2-6 twice here. But obviously, you know, listen, Abyss Dweller, once I saw Abyss Dweller there, I scooped. That thing is ending everything. Sure, we have Imperm, but let me just see. Detonator, yeah. So here's the issue is, even though we have Imperm, if I go Imperm target Abyss Dweller, he can just simply go Ryzeal targeting Abyss Dweller to pops out. Imperm will lose target. So listen, that was it. GG's. We're not going to sit through the rest because yeah, it's over for us. Abyss Dweller, sure, he had enough damage on board, but once I saw Abyss Dweller, that's it. Honestly, it's done. That's it, capiche. So yeah, that is the game, guys. Unfortunately, we did end up losing this one, but you know, here you got to see Ryzeal now post Supreme Darkness, and now you can see what it's capable of doing. Eclipse Twin is crazy. Eclipse Twin is absolutely insane for Ryzeal. So yeah, this deck can just spam the board with so many rank 4. So yeah, that is the gameplay, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.